Hey everybody, Jen Powder here. We're back for our second try because the first one didn't work. So I'm joined by two special guests here. I've got Jake.
Hello.
And Liv.
Hi.
These are my kids. And so what we wanted to do is share a little bit about how summer can bring on some pretty big requests for sugary treats. So we're going to kind of act it out, but it's not too far from kind of what happens on a summer daily basis. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. So what are some of the things you guys asked for?
Skittles. Can I have some Red Bull?
You asked for Red Bull, hey? And you asked for Coke?
Could I put some Snapple?
Yeah,
The lemonade grain.
You like lemonade? So let's
can I have some Gatorade?
Can I have some
Gatorade.
simply orange juice?
Orange
Yeah,
juice.
can I have some watermelon things? They say it's nutritious and whole grain. I mean, not whole grain.
Mommy,
Can I have some ice cream?
since the lemonade says that it's made from the most nutritious stuff in the world.
Yeah, so my kids
can.
cannot read the labels, and so we're asking if you couldn't hear them. What else did you guys ask for? There's pop,
I want
ice cream.
I want some Slurpee. I want a popsicle.
Ah, all right, guys. So thank you. You can
I
go.
love you.
I love you. Thanks for helping me. So here's the thing, right? The request for sugar can come in all day, every day, especially if you're on holidays with your kids. And what I find is that, there could be a real excuse to kind of treat yourself every single day. It could be a holiday day or a road trip day or a travel day or a day with cousins or a day at the lake or a birthday or just because it's Thursday, right? And so we have to start figuring out as moms how much sugar is okay for our kids, and almost more importantly, how much sugar is okay for us, because you don't want to eat too much. And I hear so many clients of mine struggle with sugar cravings, sweet tooth. They feel like once they start, they can't stop. And that can feel pretty troublesome. It can also lead to lack of energy, inflammation, chronic pain, chronic fatigue. You can have weight gain, inability to lose weight. All of these things can happen. And if you don't make the connection between what you're putting in your body and some of these consequences simply because you just don't know, well then you're not, how can you be, if you can't change something you're not aware of, right? So what I wanted to share with you today is just some of the stuff, well, it's tonight, some of the stuff that, we're often putting into our bodies on a regular basis, thinking that it's good when really it's not that great. So one of the things that changed the food industry back in the 80s was this little guy, right? The invention of like yogurt or Yoplait. So this is a French vanilla yogurt, and it's just a little container with a foil top, and so many people will have this for a snack or give it to their kids for breakfast. And if you look at the label, there's 22 grams of sugar in it, right? A Kit Kat chocolate bar has 21. So if you're thinking that this is a better choice than saying having a chocolate bar, well, yeah, it's really not. And the other thing is you have to kind of know how much sugar is okay for you. And if you're an adult woman, the recommendation is 6 teaspoons. Okay, so 6 added teaspoons of sugar a day is really the norm you should be living within. So what is that? It's 24 grams. Right? I have a hard time picturing grams. I'm better with picturing teaspoons or tablespoons or even what a quarter a cup or a half a cup looks like. So I'll try to convert that for you. But for our kids, it's even less. And what's crazy is in North America right now, most North Americans are eating about half a cup to 1 cup of sugar a day. Now, you might think that that is not you, that your diet is super healthy, super clean, super green, you've got your spinach in your smoothies and you eat really well, except it can creep in quicker than you could ever possibly imagine. And it's really easy to do with liquid calories, right? So the things that are liquids. So some of the stuff I just want to share, especially if you're a mom out there with kids, is stuff like Gatorade, right? There's so many kids that are playing sports right now. I just drove by a soccer field and there's all these little ones running around out there, and many of them were going to get, during the break, their bottle of Gatorade. So in this bottle, there are 42 grams of sugar, right? 42. That's a lot, right? Your recommendation is 24. So we're almost double as an adult. As a kid, you can pretty much be like almost 10 times the limit by drinking a whole Gatorade. This isn't what your kid needs. It's really not what you need either. Same with stuff like this, right? Like Monster, Red Bull. These are just a no. They're teenagers especially love drinking stuff like this. Some dads like drinking stuff like that. And some moms, if you're tired and you're on the go all the time, it can be tempting to want to get a little energy, pick me up, and to choose something like that. But in the Red Bull, there's like 10 teaspoons of sugar practically, and almost 14 teaspoons of sugar in the Monster. So, what about juice, right? Because if you look at kids' lunches, you can see that there's like so many juice boxes and juice. Like you can't have pop, you can have juice though. And what's crazy is so this is like the same as like a can of pop. It's 340 milliliters. A can of pop is 355. And there are 34 grams of sugar in this, which is almost identical to a can of Coke. So is orange juice healthier than Coke? It's kind of like a trick question, right? There are vitamins in the orange juice and some additional nutrients, but unless you have scurvy, you probably really don't need the juice. Go eat an orange instead. It's better for you. You know, lemonade, stuff like this. You've got to learn how to read the labels. And that's what's so tricky, because, you know, this is where this one is a really tricky label, right? This is the Arizona iced tea, 99 cents, super cheap. And if you look at the label, it says that in 1 cup, there's only 18 grams. So you might think, oh, well, that's under my recommended limit. I'm going to just drink this can. Except there's basically 3 servings in a can. So if you were to drink this whole thing, you've pretty much just had half a cup of white sugar go into your system, probably in a pretty short time span. Now, where I start to lose my mind a little bit is around candy. Candy has become, I don't know what it's become for us. It's almost like kids ask for it, we give it, they whine for it, we don't want to listen to the whining, so we say yes when we should be saying no, and we don't really keep a check on portion. And like, case in point is a bag of candy. You can see it's already been opened. A bag of candy like this, right? So this is just like sour watermelon slices, jubes, what are they? The fuzzy peaches or the Swedish raspberries. These are big bags. And I was at the airport traveling. This was the size of candy that was being sold. And there was lots of people buying it and eating it, kids included. So if you look at the back of it, the portion size or the recommended serving size is 6 pieces. But there are 4 servings at least in a bag, which means if you were just to mindlessly, you know, munch this away on a flight or while you're waiting to go somewhere, you're consuming 88 grams of sugar at one time in one sitting. Or can you imagine all of that sugar going into your little one? That's this much sugar right here, which I know nobody would ever mix up and just give to a kid to drink or for yourself. It's gross, right? But sometimes when you start a bag like this and you're just putting your hand in and mindlessly munching, you don't stop to think about it. What's even crazier is like these, so first of all, little bags of candy are hard to find now. You almost can't get a little bag of candy. They all come in big bags. And so in this, these are Skittles, I guess you can see that. And in this little bag of candy, can you guess how much sugar is, if you eat this whole bag, how much sugar you're eating? It's 1/4 cup, right? So 45 grams of sugar are in this little bag. And I don't know about you, but I could probably, if I wasn't thinking about it, eat this really, really quick. And that's the thing, we just don't know, right? We don't know if it's good or if it's bad. So if you've got kids at home, or if you've got teenagers, or if you yourself are trying to get healthier, to have a bit more energy, you got to start paying attention. And for me, that was one of the biggest things I had to do, was to kind of sort of shift that relationship I had with sugar so that I could feel better, you know, have more energy, see the weight go that I've been carrying that I didn't want to carry. And yet I didn't understand how much sugar was in these foods. And that's where food companies have become really tricky, right? So sugar is added to everything. And if you're like me, again, and sort of, you know, grew up in the 80s and 90s where there was like that war on fat, the sugar companies, like food companies, were really smart. They started that because that means that they got to still dump all of their sugar into their products, and sugar is what makes us buy something. So if it's sweet, we like to eat it, we keep eating it, we like to buy it, it's, you know, it's addictive. So my suggestion for you is, if you're looking to try to change your relationship with sugar, you don't know how, you feel confused about where to get good information, because there's lots of different stuff out there. Some people recommend going cold turkey, you know, to quit sugar and to live super extreme on one end. And for some people, that's just way too hard. And so they don't do anything. And then all of this stuff keeps coming in. And I just think there's a better way. There's a more balanced way. Right? And that is to learn. It's kind of like money. Like, you can't spend endless amounts of money every day. So where do you want to spend your money today? Do you want to make it on like little tiny things, or do you want to have something super satisfying, like a really great, you know, scoop of ice cream, or, you know, look forward to like an adult cocktail at the end of the day that's got sugar in it? But if you keep eating or drinking stuff like this, then it just piles on. So that's why I created the 28-day Sugar Fix program. If you've seen any of my emails go out, you know that it is on a flash summer, you know, sweet summer savings sale, so that you can get it now until Thursday at midnight for 97 bucks. And that's Canadian. So if you're in the States, that's like $5. Okay, I'm kind of kidding, but sorta. And what it is it's 28 days of support, taking you through, you know, kind of some basic chemistry around sugar, and actually how it makes handling stress worse, how it influences your mood, how it can affect your sleep, why, you know, you can be eating healthy but eating stuff like this and not see, or sorry, exercising but not see belly fat go away, or sometimes you can even see more belly fat come on and not understand why. So I take you through how to understand that, and then in the second week we start to learn how you can actually change your relationship with the other things that you need to nourish your body, right? So things like healthy protein choices. Are you getting enough vegetables? Are you hydrating yourself? In the third week, we start talking about your social emotional triggers. How are you handling stress? Are you able to, have another way to cope besides just eating? Because so often we're mindlessly eating as a way to deal with other stuff going on in our life. And the thing is food can't solve a feeling. And then in the fourth week, I take you through learning how to live with sugar in your life in a really healthy way. Both my kids just had their birthdays. You better believe there was like cake with icing, and we still get to go and do fun things and go for ice cream, but there's a reason why there's a kid's cone size, and there's a reason why there's a size, small. The problem is we've become so distorted in our portions that now we think a size small isn't enough, and it really is. So I'm going to pop the link into the comments below. You can learn more about it. For 97 bucks, you could literally change the relationship you have with your sugar cravings. You can have it more on your terms and not feel so compelled by the sweet stuff, and change the relationship you have with your kids and how you use, sugar and sweet treats with them to really shift the culture from sugar being this like amazing thing in their life to really getting them focused on how to feel like healthy and happy without all that sugar, and yet enjoying the stuff that they really, really like. And because it's really just about choices. So say hi if you're on. If you have any questions or comments, please, please, please let me know. What's included in the program, again, you have access to it 24/7 for at least the next year. So even if you've got summer vacay coming, or you can't commit to doing anything in 28 days, it's not a drastic program. I made it for just the normal mom out there, or the normal woman out there who's got a life and busy and doesn't want to have to get too extreme in the kitchen or only shop at an organic store, because sometimes that's just not possible, right? So check it out, the 28-day. You can go to jenniferpowder.com/sugar-fix-sale, and in it I share so much more about how to change the relationship with sugar so that you can change your health, change your energy level, feel better in your clothes again, and honestly, for me, really helping your kids be healthy too, from the inside out. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you again. Hope you're having a good night.